final season.
Ryan.
Joyhdae.
First of all, don't make fun of me. Okay? Don't start off already.
I mean, because I put in the beginning of the episode every time you saying Joyhdae, Ryan, and so then we start off the episode with Ryan, Joyhdae again. It's just a little weird. It's a little weird for me.
People
a little
still
weird.
learning us. People still learning us. Okay, it's not.
Right.
I have a question for you.
What's your question?
Why was your mayor at that little young lady's Teen Vogue party instead of being a mayor?
I don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
You ain't seen the pics drop of your mayor, Eric Adams, at Aoki Lee Simmons' Teen Vogue cover party?
No.
Being an Instagram influencer?
No, people. So at your birthday, one of our dear listeners was just like, I be asking Joyhdae all the time, are you really that clueless? Yes, I am. Because I have no idea. What be going on sometimes, especially this week. This week I've been focused on a project, so I haven't been paying any attention to what's going on outside.
That bobble-headed man, while New York is in disarray, found time to go to Aoki Lee Simmons' Teen Vogue cover party. One, you're too old. Okay? You're too. You don't know that little girl. Okay? I don't even think Aoki's old enough to drink yet. She is a college graduate, but she's a young college graduate.
Yeah.
What are you doing at her Teen Vogue party, sir?
He's the mayor. Mayors need to be out and about with the people, and they need to be seen. Also, he's not going to get a next term, so, he got to be able to set up his next situation. So you got to meet the people. When
I tell you, I'm pretty sure that man has more pictures on his wall of celebrities than the celebrities actually listed on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I am almost... he is such a groupie. It drives me nuts. Like, this week was UN week, which was a headache in of itself.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't go into Manhattan
a headache.
This week. Oh, so good.
But I'm struggling trying to get across town on something that usually takes me 3.5 minutes. You up here taking selfies with Aoki Lee Simmons.
That tracks.
I want to punch him in his solar plexus.
What's new here, Joyhdae?
I'm tired of seeing him. I'm tired of seeing him at everywhere but at work. And then got the nerve to tell people that they got to return to office. No, sir. You got to return to office. When the last time Gracie Mansion seen you?
I don't know. Did he move in or does he live in...
He still lives in Jersey, allegedly.
Oh, wow.
Allegedly, he still lives in Jersey. I just need to know. Yeah, okay. He's trying to tell people that work from home is not sustainable for New York's economy. Does he know that he works from home? Because he's never at Gracie Mansion. He's never in his office.
You know what's not sustainable for New York's economy? Rent being so damn high. That's what's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Because good people like me, y'all pushing me, like y'all, like when you cleaning your house and you just sweeping everything towards the door. I'm one of those little dust bunnies. Yeah, that's me. They pushing me straight out of here. That's what this is.
The fact that rent is as astronomical as it is will never not leave me flabbergasted.
It's like...
Because what am I paying for? Like, I know I'm paying for, like, shelter.
Yeah.
But what shelter am I paying for? Because this is not making sense.
That is the question.
I saw something the other day where these girls had rented a very large studio and were splitting $6,800 amongst themselves. I think it was like 3 or 4 of them.
Oh, nah.
For them to build flex walls in said studio.
I've seen places where the rent was well over $2,000 and the bathroom was outside in the hallway shared with another.
and this is happening. And Eric Adams is out here dropping it like it's hot with Aoki Lee Simmons.
I can't.
I had to get that off my chest early because it's been bubbling. That's been bubbling.
I'm glad.
I saw them pictures drop. Aoki dropped those all innocently, and I love Aoki. Okay, I think of her as a little sister.
Oh.
I wanted to jump through the screen and yell at her. Why are you taking pictures with this man? Not just 1, but 2. Like, this is not a flex, mama.
You think she asked for those pictures, or he was just like, let's take a picture. Oh, I don't like that one. Let's take another one.
Oh, he was definitely in his influencer groupie bag.
Because, he's a Virgo. So he was like, yeah.
Why do you insist on dropping that information?
I gotta take another one.
Why do you insist on reminding people that he is a Virgo? This is what I don't understand. We do not claim him.
Whatever his moon and sun, lie about that.
Lie about Eric Adams, okay? Because we don't claim that man, okay? Lie about him, okay? We don't know him.
Okay. We don't know him.
And it's sad because he really is like, if he were a Virgo, he really is like so good at being bad. But you know, like Virgos are good at everything.
Yeah.
What is that clicking sound?
I don't hear it, but
okay.
Go off.
But sir, get to work. Please. New York is begging you. You know why New York is begging you? Because the other day, Wednesday to be exact, I was standing in front of my job waiting to go do something.
Wednesday as in my birthday?
Your birthday, yes. By the way, okay, wait, before I get to my story. Happy belated.
Oh, thanks.
Your birthday fell at an awkward time this year.
It really
last
does.
time, I feel like our episodes dropped on Thursdays before.
It
so,
did.
like, I would be able to get a happy birthday in. Like, by the time you hear this episode, Ron will have celebrated a birthday.
That's perfect.
Couldn't do that last week because, like, it would have been way too early. Now I feel like it's a little late, but...
It's all good.
You know. Happy belated birthday, Ryan.
Thank you.
I was trying to send you something, but you basically called me up and FaceTime me and was like, no.
Don't do that.
Because I'm focused right now, which is my bone to pick with you, actually, before we go to this unhoused situation.
You forgot. I thought you started with Eric Adams. I was like, she forgot. She clean forgot. So that's great.
You brought it back. You brought it back. One of the reasons I can't stand men is y'all think about losing weight, wake up the next morning 20 pounds lighter. Okay? And the reason I'm telling y'all this is Ryan has been on a health kick lately, right? He's not drinking. He's eating healthier. He's taking his health seriously, right?
Correct.
He has goals. Kudos to him. I, too, have decided that I am taking my health seriously. Have been working out, eating better.
Yeah.
Drinking less. I may have a glass of wine here or there. Ryan.
Yeah.
Has managed to lose a considerable amount of weight.
Yes. So this morning after I woke up and then used the restroom, because, you know, that's a little extra water weight. 11 pounds since just a little bit over a month. And so I'm excited. I'm very excited about it.
I have lost common sense in that amount of time. Okay? Not weight. I've been trying to lose weight. I've been trying to lose 10 pounds. I have lost common sense in that amount of time. Do you understand me? I'm tired. Men literally would sit there and be like, yeah, you know, I think I'm going to take my health seriously. All of a sudden, boom, 20 pounds lighter. Women...
It's a little different. Like, I feel like I don't know what the reason is. I'm not a personal trainer. I don't know all. I'll get back to you. I guess I'll figure it out. But a lot of men's bodies are more muscle based, I guess. And so I think when there's some focus on some sort of weight to be lost, we'll lose all of the extra pounds, which tend to be a lot of water weight and stuff like that, quicker than a woman would, because a woman's muscle mass in many cases is not the same. So I think that has something to do with it.
I'm bringing back my old phrase. We don't care. We just want to lose weight. And I'm upset that no matter how hard I try, in a month, all I've lost is common sense, and you out here losing the actual pounds that I want to lose.
Oh, man.
It's problematic. You know, like, I don't like it.
I was trying to come up with some words to give you some encouragement, but like, I mean, keep going. You got it. You got this.
First of all, that was so passive aggressive. Keep going.
No, that's not. No.
I know you didn't mean for it to be passive aggressive, but it was so passive aggressive.
Okay,
keep going. You got this. Woohoo! So, see you on the other side.
So what's going on is, I don't know if y'all could hear it. Right before we started recording, I was cleaning, and the dust particles somehow got into my nasal cavity, and I am severely allergic, and so I am like struggling through this episode. And so that's all that was. It wasn't passive aggressive. It was just me trying to convey my thoughts.
That's what you say. Anyway, back to Eric Adams needing to go do his job. Wednesday, your birthday.
Yes.
I was going somewhere. I don't remember where I was going, but I was going somewhere. And I was standing in front of my job waiting for a ride. An unhoused person just rolled up on me and screamed, "Bless you!"
That's right. Bless you. Take those blessings.
Sneeze.
Man, take those blessings.
I mean, I'll accept them. I just didn't want to get screamed at in my face by an unhoused person that I wasn't even aware was there. Like he just manifested out of thin air.
That's right. Your blessings.
Okay. It was so bad that there are construction workers who were like working, like they started to approach because they thought like, you know, because the city's a little wild right now, that like something was going to happen.
Right.
But then he just kept screaming, all I said was bless you, because you need to be blessed. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yes,
all right.
Yes, unhoused. Yes.
So, you know, I'll accept the blessings, but I'm going to need Eric Adams to do his job because the unhoused people are out here wilding right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how to, I guess, address that because I just told y'all people are out here sharing bathrooms in the hallway and spending well over $2,000. There is big reason for there to be this big, you know, homeless situation going on right now. Like, I mean, I don't know that it's wholly on Eric Adams' shoulders. I don't know. I don't know who's at fault for this.
I'm blaming Eric Adams because he out here partying and not putting people in adaptive housing.
It's like this, right? I'm trying to figure out how you would fix something like this. You're not getting these landlords to lower the rents. You're just not. Once they get to a certain threshold, they're not gonna just lower it and be like, oh, I know you're spending $3,000, but here, $1,500. So let's chop that in half. They're not gonna do that. Also, you can't expect employers, I mean, not all employers at least, big box maybe, but not like mom and pops and all of that to say, I know you make $3 an hour, but let's increase that to about $40 an hour. You can't expect that either. Like, and so I don't know. I don't know what the solution is here.
I think to start, if you offer these landlords and these owners some sort of tax break for not exceeding certain thresholds when it comes to rent so that they're not losing money, but they're getting that money back, that would be a start.
Right.
Because everything is expensive. But in everything being expensive, these are not people that are hurting for money, if we're being 100% honest.
Right.
I feel like there needs to be some sort of tax incentive program for them to keep the rents at a certain level so that people can afford housing and they don't feel like they're losing out on something.
You know what that does? That permanently excludes me from being able to afford a home.
Why does
Because guess what's about to happen when that happens? They'd be like, oh, word, it's like free reign. All right, let me go buy up this block. Let me go buy this up. And then it's just a rent frenzy.
No, but if you are trying to be a homeowner, you're not trying to buy an apartment building right now.
I'm not saying
so
I am.
You put in certain stipulations. You put in certain stipulations. You don't make it a free. I wouldn't make it a free market. Like you would put in certain stipulations. If you have apartment buildings at this level, but it has to be already established. Like because we can't allow people to say like, all right, so now we want to buy up this neighborhood in downtown Newark, knock down all the housing that is there and build apartment buildings because we want to get these tax breaks. You put in stipulations that don't allow for things like
what
that.
Are those stipulations? Because it's like I think we spoke about this already. The population is increasing. The populations in cities is definitely increasing at a faster rate as well. And so now there's a war for space, basically. This is just in my neighborhood alone. Like all you see is people buying up older locations, kicking everybody out, renovating it, and then renting it again for God knows whatever. But like, how are you to tell people that own homes that they are not going to sell? Oh, we're offering you 60%, 70%, 100% over market value for your home. Can you sell it to us? And then they sell it because, why not? And this is what's happening. Like, this is exactly what's been happening. So what are the stipulations that are going to stop that?
I mean, because I'm on the fly, I can't give you stipulations right now. But I feel like there's certain ways that you can reward and penalize people for greed. That's my personal opinion, especially in situations like this, because it is a dire situation, right? So I feel like you have to basically figure out a system that works where you are rewarding people. Like you're rewarding, I personally wouldn't even, now that I think about it, I would probably amend it so that these conglomerates don't receive these types of tax breaks. And I would leave it to the real landlords who, like the individual, like say you were a you had a rental property that you were renting out, or you had a couple of those, and your bottom line was under $1 million or some shit like that, then offer something like that to you.
Yeah.
Versus these big conglomerates who have the money but just want to be greedy. Y'all focus on the greedy people. Let's give these people who really need these types of tax breaks and incentives, the tax breaks and incentives that they need, so that they don't run out and raise the rents on their tenants because they're getting some sort of tax break. I'm basing this solely off of people who are morally sound. This is not for, the Airbnb kingpins who want to just buy up apartments and make millions of dollars because they think they're going to become the next Corcoran.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You sound like my daughter. She lives in a world that has unicorns and rainbows and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like in other places of the world, they've made it work. We can make it work here. It's just the right people have to put forth the right type of policy. You know what I mean? And that's just it'd be different. I'm not saying we can go around now and just rebuild everything and start from scratch, but there's other places in the world where housing, just our basic necessities, are things that our government takes care of, and they don't have the houselessness problems that we have, and people aren't struggling for rent. So we see how it works in other places. So we can definitely make it work here if we weren't so greedy and if there weren't so many lobbyists in the pockets of these congressmen and congresswomen.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's just right now, I'm in my hope and prayers moment. That's the moment that I'm in. So
everybody in their hopes and prayers, because I know I'm in my hopes and prayers. So Black love is dead.
Why so?
I ain't even gonna segue. I ain't even gonna say.
I mean, jeez.
I ain't even gonna segue into it. I'm just dropping that bombshell.
Wow.
Now. Black love is dead. Iman.
She's not talking about us, wife, okay? She's not talking about us. But
oh, no, I'm not. First of all, y'all can't even deem to act like y'all trying to separate in no shape or fashion.
Knock on some wood.
Because, let me knock on some wood, because that would be devastating. Iman Shumpert and Teyana Taylor are separated.
Shumpert. Let's say it together.
Shumpert are separated. And allegedly have been separated for a while. And the reason we know this is because some groupie could not wait to drop pictures of herself with Iman in the background on her Instagram, her rocking his chain, so forth and so on. That led, of course, the internet and the blogosphere to be like, Iman is cheating on Teyana. Hoes don't know they place. You supposed to be doing this, that, and the third. You're supposed to move in silence.
Wow.
And then Teyana had to come forward and be like, not too much on my business partner and best friend. We've been separated for a while now.
Right.
Ain't nobody cheat. It is what it is. Give us some privacy.
That's a fact, though. I saw some of this. I think I actually saw the post when she posted it. I think I might have sent it to you. But, she is, I didn't know all of the details about why she was saying or what she was saying. But, I mean, the fact that she was able to do this on her own terms and be like, stay out of my business, it's perfect. She's giving Virgo status. It's definitely giving. She
really should have been a Virgo. She really should have been a Virgo.
She should have been.
She truly should have been a Virgo.
In this day and age, the fact that she even had to say anything in the first place is trash. But, the fact that nobody knew anything until now sounds about the way it should be, so.
I agree, but I'm also sorry that she had to do it because some girl was so thirsty for relevancy. Clout chasing is really like a hell of a drug.
Trash.
Because that's not your boyfriend. He's a basketball, I don't even think he's active right now. But he's an ex-basketball player, and you just wanted people to know that, this is the caliber of men that you could allegedly pull. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, if he was some regular schmegular degular, we would have just gotten his arm in the photo. Not a face, not a partial face. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You would have covered it up. So you was doing that on purpose. Because even if you knew they were separated, you knew that everybody else didn't know they were separated.
Right.
So you did that for clout.
Yeah. And I feel like karma definitely comes for those people. Because it's just
yeah, I'm sure they're not together now.
I don't know when or how, but for why? What is the purpose of this? I don't know.
This isn't Black love, but Jeezy is divorcing his wife, Jenny Ma. And y'all know I struggle with names. Leave me alone. And first of all, I think I told y'all this before. I could have been Mrs. Jeezy at one point. So I'm not. I'll drop the photo again if you need me to. Okay? Jeezy was loving me.
You just talking about a photo for Iman Shumpert, as you say, and now you're talking about dropping photos. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
He's a divorced man. Everybody knows he's divorced.
He's not divorced. He just filed. What are we talking about?
He's divorced. He said irreconcilable differences. Okay? They're not getting back together.
Okay.
Everybody kind of side-eyed this relationship from the beginning just because I know you don't watch The Talk. And I don't know if you heard about this, but this happened a while ago when she was with her ex-husband who wanted children and she didn't want children. They had been talking about like their preferences in men. And Jenny has said something along the lines of
The Talk. She was on The Talk? She's on The Talk?
Mm-hmm.
So she went from...
Are you confusing
She went from the other show to The Talk on CBS?
Oh, but what was her show then? I don't know what her show was called then because I don't pay attention to Jenny. Wasn't it called The Talk?
No, The Talk is like, wasn't that like that lady from Big Brother, that show? That's The Talk? Anyway, whatever.
Anyway, she was on her talk show, the one with Tamar. I don't remember the name of it. I'm sure somebody. The Real. That's the one. The Real. It's too many thes. The View, The Talk, The Real. They all the same.
There it is.
She was on The Real and she basically said something about like light meat is right and dark meat is like stark or some shit.
No.
And so like
no
people,
way.
Yeah. So people have not let her forget that. Every time when she got married to Jeezy, everybody was like, Miss Light is right and dark is not, is married to a black man?
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
It's giving Erica Mena for sure.
Definitely giving Erica Mena. And so because of that, people are not too surprised that they have not lasted for 2 years. Because I think they're coming up on their 2 years. I say that to say, Sir Jeezy dropped an image on his Instagram.
Okay.
The day that he filed for divorce, that if he were my ex-husband to be, and I saw this, I have to call my brothers and my uncles and my cousins to beat him up. My man dropped a photo on the gram that said, too focused on who I'm becoming to focus on who's not coming with me.
I mean,
sir,
I don't see that as that hard. I feel like that tracks with a divorce filing. Yeah. No?
That is so immature and unnecessary.
That's something you would do. What are you talking about?
And I am immature and unnecessary. I am not one. I just don't think that Mr. Jeezy Snowman should have done that because allegedly she didn't even know he was filing for divorce. Like she up here posting cute shit on Instagram.
Wow.
Like, are you learning this for daddy? And then daddy out here talking about, I'm too focused on who I'm becoming, but I'm leaving your ass in the dust.
I mean, that's kind of the sentiment behind divorce. I'm not completely mad at that statement, but...
I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying, if I were on the receiving end of it, you're going to have to see me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm on the receiving end of that, you are going to have to see me.
Yeah.
On to other... This is a very, like, people don't like each other no more. And more black love is dead.
There's more? Jeez. No funny.
Remy and Papoose.
Remy and Papoose what?
So... Word on the street.
Wait a second. Wait a second, Joyhdae.
Yes.
No way.
So, y'all know sometimes I like to act like I'm a rapper. And I be watching battle raps, right? Because, like, sometimes I be in my little battle rap bag. You can't tell me that I'm not, like, Don Juan DeMarco. Like, I be in it.
Oh, wow.
So, I was watching one the other day.
Uh-huh.
Between a battle rapper named Easy the Block Captain and somebody else. I can't remember.
Okay.
And Remy was there.
Okay.
On stage. Papoose was in the audience. They were on the stage. And I don't know if this is the publicity stunt for this guy, maybe her and Papoose, which is what I hope is going to drop something. But he was battling with this guy named Geechee Gotti. And Geechee Gotti was basically confirming that Remy and this battle rapper are having an affair. And basically said in his battle rap, this is how you're supposed to talk to your bitch. And then like Papoose was basically like like screamed out "yeah" from the audience, like co-signed it. Like Remy's on stage behind this guy who's a battle rapper.
Huh.
And then photos have surfaced of them allegedly on a date.
Huh.
So.
Wow. Black love. Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Yo, that's why I be off the internet. Because, like, for what? Why do I need to care about this? But damn, that sucks.
I mean, I don't care. Imagine, though.
Yeah.
That your wife goes away to jail for 6 years.
And you just
holding her
down the whole time.
The whole time.
Oh my gosh.
She get out, get a bag. Y'all doing this whole thing. Y'all get married on TV. Y'all have a beautiful baby. You always bigging her up.
Yeah. Black love.
For her to turn around and cheat on you with a battle rapper named Easy the Block Captain. And the fact that Papoose hasn't said, like, Remy has been the one to do all the denying, and Papoose has been radio silent on this whole thing.
Okay, so Remy is denying, Papoose is silent. I don't get it. I don't understand the angle here, but, like, I guess.
I'm gonna send you the clip of the battle rap so you can see what this man said, because it was very disrespectful. Like, the way Papoose goes up for Remy all the time, and the way that this man was disrespectful with her on the stage. And Papoose didn't jump in at no point in time. Yeah. And only co-signed his shit.
Yeah.
Black love is dead. Black love is dead, y'all.
Man.
Black love is dead.
I mean, have you ever been to a battle rap?
Nah, I used to be scared.
This is exactly what I'm saying. I
watched them on YouTube. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. This is not usually an environment that is like for the pipe up. Like if you're gonna pipe up, you gotta be ready for the smoke, right? And so damn, like disrespectful. Oh man, yeah. Send that to me. I gotta see.
I'm gonna send you the clip because I know it had me, and I was like, oh,
yikes. Well then.
And Black Love that should be dead but isn't. Nicki Minaj's husband.
Oh Jesus.
Is really the loser of the week. So, you know, the MTV Video Music Awards happened.
Okay.
Nicki was the host. Her husband flew with her to New York. Offset was there. Cardi B was there. I really wish these women would leave each other alone. But there's been a lot of back and forth between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B since there's been a lot of subbing. So, one sub is in the Bongo song. I think Cardi said something about her face being on, like, money.
Okay.
Nicki went on her Instagram stories and posted a picture of like a dollar bill and was like, sorry, I had to. Cardi saw it, obviously, responded. And I believe she said, I don't speak dog ho. And then Nicki responded by posting a picture of Michael Jackson looking perplexed because, you know, Cardi was on the radio recently talking about Offset has a tattoo of Michael Jackson like on his side or like close to his penis. And whenever she's giving him head, like Michael Jackson's looking at her. To which Cardi basically said,
yikes,
she has a real life Helga Pataki, which if you're not familiar with who Helga Pataki is, she was the protagonist in the Hey Arnold cartoon. Helga was very rude and mean to Arnold while being obsessed and in love with him. Lord. That's what Cardi basically equated her relationship to Nicki with. Like, you love me, but you hate me because you love me.
Right. The thing about, I said this even last week. I have no problems with Nicki's rapping ability because we know that she can rap. Everything else about Nicki annoys the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. The thing that I love about Cardi is that Cardi is who she is unapologetically, and she is so funny and interesting and not with the shits. We all love that about her. Nicki hates that everybody loves that about her, and that's the problem.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. Off of the Monster verse alone, I don't care who wrote it. I don't care if Nicki wrote it, Jay wrote it, Kanye wrote it. I don't care who wrote it.
Nah, I'm sure she wrote it.
After that alone, I was fucking with Nicki, right? Because quotable on quotable on quotable. I'm gonna need her to focus because her focus is on everybody else but her craft, and she's slacking because of that. She's not delivering like she should be as the quote unquote self-proclaimed queen of rap.
Yeah.
She's not delivering like she should be. Her current single is not tracking. I'm pretty sure Pink Friday 2 or Roman 3.0, whichever album she's about to drop, is not about to do the numbers that she needs it to do. Because she's focused on the wrong things.
Yeah, bitches is my sons.
The Barbs are like basically 12 to 15-year-olds with a couple of adults sprinkled in there.
Right.
The ones that used to rock with her have aged out of being a part of like this whole beef culture because gas is high, rent is due, and I can't be bothered. You feel me? I want Nicki to go back to the old Nicki that used to really rhyme because let's be real. If Nicki focused on the Nicki that gave us Monster, Cardi could not see her lyrically.
Nobody could see her lyrically. What are we talking about?
So
it's not just about the lyrical raps at this point. That's not what it is.
As someone who listens to it though, like that's all she would have to say. She would just have to drop bars. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be oh well, you beefing with Cardi because they wouldn't even think of putting them in the same caliber.
Right.
With that being said, Offset was having the weekend of his life. Okay. He went to a slumber party with Kai Cenat, which I'm not even gonna hold you.
That's a weird situation, but like
a lot of people go to Kai Cenat's Twitch stream because they know like his audience.
Audience is wild, large.
I'm not gonna hold you. They look like they had such an amazing time that I want to go to Kai Cenat's house and have a sleepover. It literally reminded me of, when you were younger, you go to your friend's house because you know, like, you about to have a sleepover, y'all about to play video games all night, and their parents not about to...
No.
Okay, yeah, you different.
My mom is very, very West Indian, and we don't sleep over at anybody's house.
Okay, well, when people came to your house
what are you talking about?
When people came to your house to sleep over, and they bought their Xbox... or whatever.
They didn't have to bring I had everything. What are you talking about?
Okay, when they came to your house.
My house was the house.
So you knew what night you was about to be, which I was about to be on that night because it was a slumber party with you and your boys, and your mom was going to let you rock out. That's what Offset came. Offset came in with his, not even a suitcase, but a book bag packed full of his clothes. Not even clothes. He came in with his book bag and a smile. Yeah. Like he was about to, had the night of his life. They was dancing, playing video games, Cardi called, all of that. While Offset is doing this, Nicki Minaj's husband is in New York with a bunch of old-ass men like himself, screaming on empty blocks, Offset, where you at? And threatening Offset's life.
I cannot. Yo, now, we were just talking about this. People be mad at people when they see them living their life and just enjoying life and doing all that stuff. Like, for what? One, and two, I'm just in a bag in the moment. Like, I don't know. Again, I didn't know nothing about this. And you're explaining it all to me. Why are you yelling in the streets, I guess, threatening somebody's life when you on probation or whatever you're on?
You let me get there.
Oh, sorry.
Let me get there. Please let me get there.
Go ahead.
Offset is in Atlanta because I think that's where Kai Cenat lives. Wherever Kai Cenat lives, having the absolute time of his life.
Okay.
Kenneth Petty is in the streets of New York, like I said, looking dingy and dark, like alleyways. With his friends threatening his life. We gonna kill you where you at. Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, wow.
Offset catches wind of it the next day while he's heading on the private jet to go wherever else he's going. And it's basically like, y'all are broke. Like,
he went
y'all
to
outside,
that Coach Prime game. Colorado versus Colorado.
He had such a good time at Kai Cenat's. He was wearing the exact same clothes on the Twitch stream to the game with Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
So Kenneth Petty and his merry band of idiots post this stuff online. Okay? Twitter, Instagram, whatever. You said it. Kenneth Petty is on parole.
Yeah.
Kenneth Petty is now under house arrest for up to 120 days.
For this?
Why? Because he threatened someone online and the people that he were hanging with were also convicted felons, which is something that you cannot do while you were on parole or probation or whatever it is.
Wow. Smarts, it's the smarts.
Like, and then Nicki up here trying to act like, first they tried to blame Cardi. Like, they tried to say that Cardi and Offset, like, snitched. Mama, your husband put it on the socials.
Oh, man.
Your husband put it on the socials, mama, for everybody to see.
Yo, this is like, what is wrong? What kind of world do we live in? I don't understand these people. Internet, we need to get rid of it.
We do.
Like, what is wrong with these people? They're losing their ever-living minds.
I just feel like y'all have too much money to be doing this. Like,
come on.
Kenneth Petty, you had the best come up of any convicted criminal ever. Like, your wife is rich. All you got to do is be her arm candy. That's it. You ain't got to work. You ain't got to do nothing. You just got to be her arm candy. It's bad enough that every time he does something, people are like, just remind her that he can't pick their kid up from school. Like, you got to pick your battles, mama. This is not the battle that you want.
Yikes.
Like, when you have birthday parties for your son, it has to be adults only because he's not allowed around kids.
Or he can't show up. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And so he's out here, like, you got other things to worry about other than Offset because your wives are having beef.
Word.
And if your wives are having beef, like Offset, as far as I know, Offset has never said anything disparaging about Nicki. Like, I've never heard him disrespect her. Maybe I'm missing that. Right. Why are you inserting yourself in women's business, sir?
Also, these people, I mean, I know Cardi's a little bit younger than us, but Nicki's up here with us. Like, these are old people.
And he's older than Nicki.
These are old people.
And he's older than
What
Nicki.
are we doing?
When I tell you, they looked like a comedy on Tubi when they were standing out there in the middle of the block yelling, Offset, where you at?
Oh,
They looked like a comedy off of Tubi.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Everybody looked dusty and old, and like, I couldn't even take them seriously. And I scare easy. I'm not even gonna hold you. Even I was like, I would dust y'all because y'all look dusty and old. While y'all standing out here saying this.
Yikes. Listen, it is what it is. She married the right person. That last name, I think she did it just for that purpose.
She did, because she wanted to call herself Mrs. Petty.
But like, why?
She's losing the battle, though. Like, she's losing.
Definitely losing the battle.
And she shouldn't be. And I want her to realize that because she has too many yes people around her.
I hate that.
Me too. Like, you ruining your legacy. Like, you are ruining your own legacy. Nobody else is ruining your legacy but you.
You know, Oprah had said something and everybody was just like, why is she leaving her show when she's on top and everything is... She's like, it's better for you to step down while you're on top rather than you be forced out while you're on the bottom.
Like,
just think about it.
Two quick things. It is, I'm trying not to curse as much, but I'm sure I snuck some curses in here. But it really is fuck Drake for the rest of his life, because on his song with SZA,
oh man,
allegedly he says something along the lines of whip you with chains like them American slaves. Or some shit like that.
Way.
And
no. Oh my God. Joyhdae,
I need you to gather yourself and leave expeditiously.
Joyhdae.
Yeah.
No, you lie. That's a lie.
He definitely said something along the lines of like whip you with chains like American slaves.
I thought you were gonna bring up the Halle Berry cover. I didn't even hear about this. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's over. It's over for him.
Yeah.
It's he and Erica Mena could go down the river together.
And I'm sure people heard that on his team, and nobody thought to say we may not want to say that. Whipped and chained you like American slaves. That's what he said.
Wow.
Okay. There's that.
Wow.
Lastly, before we move on, and this is so out of our audience probably not gonna care, but I gotta get this off my chest. Joe Jonas, you are a slimy, grimy son of a bitch. Leave Sophia Turner alone.
You said last week that we had non-melanated people listening. So yes, this is our audience.
Okay.
It's just not for me per se, but it is our audience.
Well,
go ahead.
Joe Jonas, we see you. We are on to you, sir. What you are not going to do is try to come for the Queen of the North, okay? We're not right. You thought because you and your brother sing a little happy diddly ass songs and was on tour, that people's gonna be like, oh, Joe Jonas, woo. First of all, we all like Nick anyway. Okay, we don't even like you. Man. Leave Sophia alone. We are on to you with your pap walks with your daughters. You kidnapped them babies, trying to make her seem like she's not a good mama. Go.
First of all,
sing off key somewhere else, sir.
The Queen in the North was very wishy-washy to begin with anyway, so, they kind of deserved each other a little bit. Just saying.
First of all.
Just saying.
Sansa at the end was not Sansa at the beginning. Yesterday's price is not today's price, okay? Leave Sansa alone, okay? Okay? Because Sansa came through at the end, okay?
She did. It was touch and go for a second.
It was. In the beginning, I couldn't stand Sansa. You know what I mean? But Sansa holds her own. She held her own. And when it really mattered, and she had to navigate as Queen of the North, Sansa did what she had to do. Okay.
I was ready for Mother of the Dragons to do what she had to do. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
I was too. But if we had to pick between a Jonas brother and the Queen of the North, we rocking with the Queen of the North. We not rocking with the Jonas brothers.
All right.
So I need to let him know that. We on to you. Okay? She had to go sue him because basically what he did was he knew he was filing for divorce. She didn't know he was filing for divorce. She found out on social media like everybody else that man was divorcing her. Then he tried to make it seem like she was not a good mother and that she's all over the place. And he has to take care of these children while they're on tour. When it was agreed upon that he wanted to take them on tour with him, so they did. They're supposed to be in London with their mama, and he's holding them captive. So she had to sue him for custody, and now he's trying to say like that's not how it go. Sir, don't make him... The Queen of the North does no wrong. Okay?
All right.
In this situation. Okay. To the point where now she's hanging with Taylor Swift. You see what you made her do? Now she got to go hang out with Taylor Swift.
Look what you made me do. Sorry. All right, go ahead.
Had to get that off my chest real quick. Because that irritated me. Every time I see him on TMZ or something, I'm irritated.
So, unpopular opinion. I am completely over Hip Hop 50. Like, when is this going to be over?
Is it going to be over? Is it unpopular? Because at this point, I feel like anybody who claims to have been a part of hip hop, even in hindsight, is participating in the Hip Hop 50th year anniversary. And I'm tired of it because half of them we don't know. And we haven't thought about.
It's like, how many times do we have to see the same exact performance? It's like, all right, LL Cool J. All right, Big Daddy Kane.
I love Big Daddy
Kane. Method Man and Mary J. Blige again? Yes.
Is so fun.
It's like, come on. How many times do we have to see this? As if we didn't see it last year at the BET Awards, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that. Like, come on.
We're not good at planning. LL had beef with Jay. Did you hear about that? Like, he was upset that Jay didn't come to the 50th concert in Yankee Stadium. Like, he's upset that Jay didn't participate. I'm upset that Jay didn't participate, but I understand.
I mean, Jay was like, I am more interested in watching Blue Ivy tear down the stage. That's what I'm more interested in.
So you could be mad. But
I'm burnt out. I'm
over it. At this point, y'all, it should be done. Like, there's really no cause to celebrate anything else, like, at all.
I mean, Fat Joe, I think, is hosting the Hip Hop Awards, so that's gonna be a whole other thing.
We don't care.
I think there's another Hip Hop 50 thing happening in October as well. So I don't know. I'm tired.
I'm over it. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion, to be quite honest.
Okay.
So I asked you, or I didn't ask you. I told you, or I mentioned to you.
You told me
that Kirk Franklin had a documentary on YouTube.
Yes.
That I thought you should watch because it was quite interesting.
Yes, you definitely did. Joyhdae. All I'm gonna say is you don't understand how to do trigger warnings. You don't understand, like, you don't know my life. You don't know what I was going through at the time. Like, I was not ready, Joyhdae. I was not ready. All I'm saying.
You know what it is? First of all, let me apologize because I definitely did not give you any type of warning. I was definitely like, you should watch this. I was on a high from BS High, to be quite honest. And so I was like, you should watch this. and not without thinking at all.
Oh,
about,
man.
Like, if it would be possibly triggering for you. So I do apologize about that. So for those of you who may not know, Kirk Franklin has a documentary that didn't just drop, but that has been out called Father's Day, which is also the name of his upcoming gospel album.
Yeah.
If you have not seen it and you're interested in seeing it, this is where you just drop off and come back in like 5 minutes because...
Word.
Spoiler.
Okay, so that same exact day that I chose to watch this thing, I had therapy in the morning. And so I'm having one of the better therapy sessions that I've had. My therapist is like, oh, you really have to congratulate yourself because you've been doing pretty well. And,
right.
I'm not really good at, the compliments and all of that type of stuff. But like, I took it. I was in a mode. I was like, all right, so, this thing is working. Obviously, Joyhdae, you were here to tell me, no, bitch, you still have work to do. You have work to do because you still have some stuff that you have to like work through because this documentary, my gosh, Joyhdae.
Listen, I wasn't thinking, to be honest. I was just in my like, oh, I love this doc. Like, I felt things, but I think my approach to my relationship with my father is different to like lots of people. So it didn't affect me the way that it would have affected other people.
Right.
And I did not think about that.
Give them a run through of what's going on.
Essentially, what this documentary is about is Kirk Franklin was not raised by his mother. He was raised by his grandmother. And his whole life was told that a gentleman was his father. He was an absentee father, but was his father. Does not have a relationship with his mother. Did not really form a relationship with his mother until much later in life. During the process of filming this documentary, rumors start. Kirk Franklin finds out that another man could potentially be his father.
Right.
He doesn't believe it because he's had a very contentious relationship with his father, with the man that he thought was his father.
Biological father.
And had made amends, buried him. This man has died.
Yeah.
Come to find out, the man that Kirk Franklin buried is not his father.
Nope.
This man who lived down the street from where he grew up was his
2 blocks away from the studio that he records in right now. 2 blocks.
Is his biological father. The man on his own accord took a DNA test. It came back like 99.9998% that he was his father, which opened up a whole lot of floodgates for Kirk Franklin.
Yeah. I could imagine. 53, you just now finding out who your actual father is. It's crazy.
What was crazy, too, is there's a couple of things that were crazy. One, his aunt, she can't be my auntie. And I commend Kirk Franklin for not having his wife mush her, because I would mush her. He called her at one point trying to get information, and he says hello.
Yeah.
And she has an attitude because he didn't say like, hi, auntie.
Oh, yeah.
Your sister didn't raise me, ma'am. You are barely my family.
You barely raised you. I don't know you.
I don't know
what
you. Like, you don't get that.
Right.
Okay? Then the other part that annoyed me with her was when he pulled up to the house after to really get into his mother about this whole situation.
Yeah.
She told him, get your ass out the car. When I tell you, I would have rolled my windows up and pulled off and said, we're going to try this another day. That's what we would have done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kirk Franklin told his mother that he knew that this other gentleman is his father.
Yeah.
His mama sat there and denied it.
Looked him dead in the face and was just
said,
like, no, I don't believe this. Don't believe this science.
I don't believe this
wrong.
DNA test.
The paper is wrong.
Your girl said, what does this mean? Ma'am, 99.99998%, this man is his father and not whomever you told him was his father.
Right.
She also, in my opinion, victimized herself.
She did. Well, that I wasn't so surprised by. What I was surprised by was when he checked her and then checked her again she still doubled down and was like, nope.
Yeah, like,
nope, it wasn't.
She basically
nope, it wasn't
was
him.
like, you're lying. These tests are lying. This man is lying. Everybody's lying but me.
Yo.
And it basically created a rippling effect, because obviously Kirk is affected. If you've been following him, you know that he's had a contentious relationship with his son.
With his own son, yeah.
That he hasn't really spoken to in a couple of years now. And this kind of created an opportunity for him to address the issues that he and his son have been going through.
Yeah.
Where it's basically hurt people. And in this situation, Kirk, as a hurt person, was hurting his own offspring without necessarily realizing the causes of it.
Right.
When him and his biological father stood next to each other, I said, you have that man's whole entire face. They both pursed their lips the exact same way when Kirk Franklin is thinking. When they did that at the same time, I said, now why this lady lying to these people?
There was so many things about this that really took me out. I constantly am nervous about how I'm treating my children because of how I was raised, whatever traumas I have. I don't want to necessarily send that down to the next generation. So this is a constant thing on my mind. So that already had me, that whole situation. The fact that this person, he actually looked like a respectable dude.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, this is some deadbeat crackhead that's on the street that's barely there. Your mother was trying to protect you, and so, she decided, whatever, you don't need to know who the real person is or whatever. This person looked like he had all of his stuff together. Man looked very clean cut. The house looked amazing. I was like...
When that man said, if I would have known, I would have been there, that's the part that cut me to the quick.
Oh, my God.
Because... how many people go through life not hearing that from their absentee or perceived to be absentee parent?
Exactly.
And the fact that his mother continued to lie. And I'm like, ma'am, you are a grown woman. So I don't know what happened when y'all were teenagers that made you feel like you had to deny him. Maybe he wasn't an upstanding teen.
Right.
But you are well into your 70s.
Yeah. At this point,
you are a grown ass woman.
Yeah.
It's no need for you to cover this up anymore.
Yeah. And what killed me with her was that she didn't believe the first one. He was like, all right, cool. We go do another one. You're there. We're going to go do the DNA test while you're there to see the results. Results come back again, and you still double down and don't want to... Yo, I was so pissed off at this lady.
That whole process was just... watching that, I'm like, I could never.
Yo, the part that took me out, though, that I was not ready for was when he went to the man's house and he had given him the results to read. And then when the father read it and then looked over at him, I was like, God, this is not my exact experience, but I'm like, the fact that this man wanted to be there and is now realizing that he has missed 53 years of his son's life and whatever relationship they could have had together is that thing that, when I tell you, Joyhdae, bawling, I was like, oh my God, what is this?
I
was not ready.
Seeing that man basically admit that he would have been an actual active father did something to me.
The man looked like he's nicely retired. He has a nice 401k. He has nice retirement investments. He goes out and does leisurely things and during his retirement.
He looks like he goes. He looks like he meets his buddies at the golf club.
Oh man.
At the golf course, and they go and they golf and they have a great splendid time.
Yeah.
They light cigars. They don't really smoke them, but they, have them around.
Kirk was talking about how he had moments where he was homeless. He had moments when they came and repossessed his car out the church parking lot. And meanwhile, this man is out here living a nice, rich life. Not knowing that
his son exists.
Right.
And not even not knowing that his son exists, but like that his son is going through
what he's
things that he
through.
may not have had to go through.
Had to go through at all.
Like he may not have had to go through at all. And it's so, I also was thinking about the fact that like, did this man, because they look exactly alike.
Yeah.
Did this man.
You about to say what I'm about to say. I'm saying,
see
go ahead.
Kirk on something and was like, now hold on.
Come on, Joyhdae. This part is the only part that had me like a little like iffy because it's like, it's not like Kirk Franklin is the man that goes and sings karaoke down the street and like, you know, has a little following of 14 people that follow him every week. This is like the biggest gospel artist in the world. Like,
right.
Very visible. Very, right. Very visible. You can't look at this man and be like, that's not my son. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, maybe the only way is that if he didn't know who Kirk's mother was, that could be the only way.
Well, he said they dated.
Yeah, he dated her. He knows her, but he didn't know him. So then if he didn't know that Kirk's mother was this person that he dated, then he could have just been like, oh, we probably have some family down the line or whatever, but like, I don't know why I would be related to this person. That's the only reason I would think, because if anything else.
To your point though, like it's not easy if you don't have, obviously she's avoiding him. So we don't know if this man has reached out to his mother on numerous occasions to be like, is he my son? And her just telling him no. And right. him trying to get DNA to him or
right.
talk. Like, we don't know that, right? Because his mother's whole reaction was just not, she didn't seem surprised.
It like, was not like, giving.
Not that I'm expecting the Maury freak out with her running down the stage, you know, running off the stage saying no. But like her reaction was not the reaction of someone who wasn't aware that this was, you know what I mean? Like,
right. At least that it was a possibility, right? Like, yeah.
Like she seemed just resigned to the fact, like, it's not true. But it's like, ma'am. So I feel like he may have very well tried to get in contact with Kirk. He very well may have tried to tell Kirk that there's a possibility that I am your father. He may have tried to do that through his mother. His mother could have even told this man, he don't want nothing to do with you. I told him. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole lot of ways that this could have played out where this man had to wait for an opportune moment to find somebody who was willing to hear his side of the story.
Yeah.
To get back to Kirk.
It's just so funny to me because I'm always wondering in my head, like, ever since I was a kid, like, does destiny actually exist or do you make life what you want it to be or whatever? Like, for the fact that Kirk was already recording during this time to set up for this album that he thought was going to be one thing and it turned out to be something completely different, and everything was documented without like it was just perfect how it was documented, is amazing in that sense. The fact that Kirk decided that he was going to use this vulnerability or use this experience to share it with us in order to have someone else heal, I commend this man for this, like, because it's just like, wow. To show that type of vulnerability as a black man, you don't really see that too often.
And I agree with you on that, because I think that there's still this narrative, even though black men and black women are fighting to the T right now, and I don't know why, that black men aren't allowed to be vulnerable.
Right.
Like, if you show that type of vulnerability, you're weak, you're this, you're that, all kinds of homophobic slurs, all kinds of shit.
Right.
And I want us to get to a point where black men feel comfortable showing this type of vulnerability because it is healing and it is freeing. And I want black men to heal and I want black men to be free. So it was just, it was great. I want to mush his auntie Sandra because she's not a people person. And I understand holding your sister down, but wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
And your sister did wrong, because even though Kirk is a 53-year-old man, that is still your sister's child, and she did not do right by her child.
Her sister, Sandra, she knew. She knew, and she was just like, yo, just tell him the truth. And when her sister doubled down and didn't want to tell him the truth, she didn't break out and be like, well, this is actually what happened, and blah, blah, blah. She just, like, 10 toes down for her sister, so, you know.
And that bothered me, too.
Wow.
Because you really want him to call you auntie.
Right. But you're not acting like an auntie.
You know what I mean? Like, you not have his back. You don't have his best interest in heart. Like, you want him to give you that respect.
Right.
Mush her. Where's your wife, Kirk? Mush her.
Bravo, sir. Bravo, sir.
Whew.
I really hope you and your son and your newfound biological father find the healing you deserve.
Yeah.
And I feel like he said that he's not talking to his mother anymore or whatever when he gave her that ultimatum.
Yeah.
I mean, even that, honestly, I hope that they can find a way to figure that out as well. But I understand that sort of pain. So
I understand it. I hope they find their way back to each other, but I hope they find their way back to each other through therapy because she needs it. Because she's manipulative, she's selfish, and she doesn't deserve. And she feels like she deserves a relationship with him because that's her son. She hasn't earned that, as far as I'm concerned. So I do want them to find their way back to each other, but I understand where he's coming from. I've been in my bag with the documentaries, lady.
You really have. You really have. And even though I was blindsided, I was very glad that I watched that documentary. So
I know, because when you texted me like, hey, next time, I was like, oh, shit. I was completely not thinking whatsoever. Like, I was in my bag like, oh, this was good. I enjoyed this little 35-minute documentary. Whew. I'll do trigger warnings next time.
Perfect.
Now. Your Virgo brother, Tyler Perry.
Why everything that you don't like about Virgos always got to do something with me? Like, why? And, we all Virgos, we in this together, Joyhdae. I need
you to come get him.
Okay,
and
go
gather
ahead, because
him.
This I have some opinions on. This I do. Go ahead.
So Tyler Perry was on a show, on a vlog, I guess, talking about relationships and love. And to summarize what he said, he basically said that at this point, women, particularly black women, are out earning black men. And
I told you this.
He didn't say nothing new. Okay. But that we shouldn't be so caught up in what men can do for us monetarily, but more so what they can do for us in other aspects, how they can fulfill you in other aspects. Because he may not be able to help with the bills, but he may be able to pay the light bill. And we should be okay with that. That should be sufficient enough because he's taking care of you in other places. He didn't in other ways. He did not expound on what those other ways were. Okay? One, I'm tired of y'all telling black women that they have to settle. That's one. Two.
First off, who's y'all though? Who's y'all?
Men like Tyler Perry.
That's what you're calling me out? That's because you're saying y'all.
Y'all meaning men like Tyler Perry. Men like Tyler Perry.
All right.
He love him some struggle love. Love him some black struggle love. We don't have time for it, sir. The world is on fire. I don't have time to struggle and come home. And this is what I don't think people realize. And it works in both aspects, right? Typically, if a man is out earning a woman and she's not contributing to the bills in some sort of way, she is contributing to the household because she is managing and running said household, right? So he comes home, typically, usually, dinner's cooked, kids or whatever. That's how that works. If it's the opposite and a man is not providing, a woman is providing for the man, typically he is not doing the same, right? Like, so she's not only out earning him, but then she got to come home from work, cook for you, clean for you, pay the bills. If something happens to the woman and this man's skill set is only that where he can afford to pay a light bill, who's going to maintain their cost of living if something happens? He's not saying if you earn $250,000 and he earns $200,000, don't be upset because he's earning $50,000 less. He's saying if you earn $250,000 and the man that comes up to you and he earns $15,000 and all he could pay is the light bill, give that brother a chance. I want Tyler Perry to sit on a tack and spin.
Oh no. You made your points? Because I have thoughts.
Yes.
Okay. So I get where black women are coming from. The only reason I really saw this is because you sent this to me. But I feel like the only reason a lot of this, like, first off, let me not say that. As soon as I heard it, I knew this was going to go off. I knew people were going to be up in arms about what he's trying to say. I feel like he didn't explain himself well enough for it to be taken in a way that he anticipated it in his head. Another thing is, I feel like Tyler Perry is so far removed from the struggle in life that people don't relate to what he's trying to say anymore. It's very far removed. So even if he was saying something that was landing, I think people would still, regardless of what that thing is, they'd still have reason to rebut him. And so I think that is at play here. We've had these conversations, like we joke about your relationship and dating and like all of that type of stuff a lot. But like in all seriousness, like I didn't see a lot of what he said to be incredibly like wrong, right? I just feel like he just didn't express it in a way that landed for people. I think relationships that work are an irrational thing. Like it's not something that you can say, okay, we're all bringing 50% of this whole together, and this is how it's always going to be. And like at every moment we're contributing to this thing, and it's just like, this perfect relationship. The people that we admire that are in relationships that work, there's a roller coaster of things that are happening in that relationship. And just because people are just like, this person is not on your level when it comes to like finances and all of that stuff, that honestly does not mean that this person doesn't have something to bring to the table. When you said typically, if a woman's at home in the complete opposite role, the man is doing all the breadwinning and all of that, the woman is taking care of the home and, cooking and doing all of that stuff. Yes, that happens in many, many situations, but that's not necessarily the end all be all or how it is in every situation. So it's like we have all these expectations about what things are supposed to look like, but yet we don't really have grace for when it doesn't live up to those sort of situations. Like I feel, again, everyone's not as, and I hate to say it this way, but lucky. Like in my situation, I found my wife when I was 20. We built together. We both had nothing and we started building and doing all of that type of stuff. A lot of these people that are mad are people that are dating now that have established themselves and, they're in their late 30s, 40s, whatever time it is, they want to have kids. They want to do all these things. But like at the same time, that doesn't mean that a man that didn't build with you to get to wherever you are, but he's actually out here doing something and like has ambition and is working towards something and all of that, just because he's not hitting the same monetary level doesn't mean that he doesn't have something to bring to the table. With all of that also being said, I also feel like there's not a lot of men out there like me or a lot of men out there that are willing to be that person that these women are talking about, whereas I don't have the money, but like I have all these other things. Like me, I'm okay with my wife making money. I'm not insecure in that way, and a lot of men are.
Right.
And so, this is a hard conversation because I feel like I see it on both sides. But as speaking from the dude who had nothing and came up and now has a little bit of something and still working towards something, I feel like if people didn't have grace for me, then I would not, like, first off, I think they would be missing out. Whoever, if I was a single person, I think they would be missing out, honestly. But like, if I was single now with what I have and I've attracted this person that made, let's say, $500,000 a year or $1 million a year, I'm not making that. But I have goals and dreams and aspirations and a hell of a list of qualities that you want. Like, so for me to not be in the equation because of that is crazy.
Now that I got my rant out of the way, because that really grinded my gears. Let me be more coherent on this subject.
Okay.
I firmly believe what you said and what Tyler Perry said are two different things.
Possibly.
Because I feel like a lot of women don't have a problem with you being ambitious and making less than me to a degree, because as you said, we're building towards something.
Right.
That's not what Tyler Perry said. Tyler Perry said that these are couples in which women are definitely out earning men. And if you're okay covering the mortgage and all of the finances, and he pays the light bill and takes you out to dinner here and there, that should be sufficient enough in a relationship. What you said and what Tyler Perry said are two different things. What you said is ideal for most women. What most women, I don't have, and I've said this before. I mean, I'm not making a shit ton of money, but my thing is I cannot date someone who is making a considerable less amount, like considerably less than I am, simply because we're not living the same lifestyle. Right?
Right.
Now, there's a difference between you earning $200,000 and your boyfriend, fiance, whatever, maybe earning $75,000, but that person managing that money better, having ambition and able to, like, you know what I mean? Having somewhere trying to go somewhere with it. And you guys are trying to establish that together. That is different than what Tyler Perry said. Tyler Perry's telling black women in particular that we should basically be able to take what we can get from these men who may have great intentions for us. Great intentions is not going to help us build nothing.
Yeah, I get that.
Because if all you can pay is the light bill and you're not striving towards anything, like he literally said, like, that's somebody who can love you at your worth. And as long as he's securing himself to know that, yep, she makes the most money and all I can pay is the light bill. I would never want my partner to say, you know, well, I want you to be comfortable in the fact that I make more money, but you should not be comfortable in the fact that the only way you are contributing to our household that we are trying to build is by paying the light bill. And I'm supposed to be okay with that. What you said is ideal. What Tyler Perry said is some bullshit.
The thing that's missing in that part is the striving part. Like, if that person is not making the same amount of money, but is striving towards something, that's the part where the disconnect comes from. Because, like, the ideal example of this is Oprah Stedman. Like, we're not talking about the same sort of situation, but yet that still works, right? You know,
it works in the sense that, but Stedman's not broke. Stedman doesn't have Oprah money. Stedman's not broke, and he contributes in ways that, you know what I mean? Like, Stedman's not paying Oprah's light bill. Stedman's definitely paying more than Oprah's light bill.
But how do you know that? How do we know that?
We know that Stedman is not just sitting there saying, hey, babe, them new Nikes about to drop. I can only pay the light bill, but since you make 5 times more than me, can you cop me them Jordans? We know that Stedman is not doing that. We know that Stedman is not doing that.
We don't know what's happening over there.
Because we know Oprah's not, we know that.
Another argument that I've seen is that, you know, oh, I've built this whole entire life. I'm paying my mortgage. I'm doing all of these sort of situations. And then to bring somebody into that situation that's not meeting me on that level financially to be able to come into the situation and provide in that way, I can't see myself doing that. But yet, according to society, this is what's expected on the flip side, right? Like, if a man, you know, has an established sort of a situation, the woman coming in to, you know, that whole lifestyle, and that man having to, you know, acclimate his life to accommodate also the woman that's also in that situation. So I don't see there being a big difference in that, where, you know, a woman has an established situation bringing a man in, or a man has an established situation bringing a woman in. Like, that to me is a little weird. Like, I just feel like where the problem comes in is that, you know, a lot of times it's the male who is insecure in a situation where the woman is making more money. And so I don't know where to go with this.
I mean, I agree with you to a degree, but I feel like in that same scenario where there's a man who's earning more money, the first thing they tell you is, as a woman, you're supposed to be an asset and not a liability. But on the flip side, we're telling women to take in liabilities who don't have any potential to become an asset to you. And that's where I have a problem. Because listen, you bring up, like, let's be 100% honest. Like, men are out here asking women, what do you bring to the table on $35,000 salaries?
Oh my God.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, there is. In 2023, $35,000 is not a lot of money.
No, it's not. But having expectations is not a problem, right? Having certain things that you're looking for in a relationship is not a problem. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with you being okay with just making $35,000 a year and asking me what I bring to the table when you can barely afford the table that you were sitting at by itself. And that's the thing, is men are allowed to ask women that question. But if I were to ask a man, what do you bring to the table? I'm a shrew. I'm a die alone. That's why nobody love you. God. This, that, and the third. I'm expected to take in liabilities and turn them into assets. Whereas women are expected to come to the table as an asset with the potential to become a liability. Do you know what I mean? And that's my problem. And that's basically what Tyler Perry's telling black women.
Yeah. This is so hard because it's like, you know, I know what I'm bringing to the table. I know the type of work that I'm putting in. And so a lot of the times I need fathers to raise sons to be great. That's all I'm saying, because my mom raised me to be great, but I also had to figure out a lot of this stuff on my own. But like at the same time, like I got daughters coming up, and I really, really don't want them to be going through in years to come the same stuff that people are going through at this particular moment. So let's hope not. But like, everybody got to be putting in the work. Everybody got to do the work, the vulnerability work, and that's all of the emotional intelligent work, all of that stuff.
And let's be 100%. What you just said right there is essentially what black women are asking black men to do. Yeah. That's it. And a lot of black men, not all black men, because I don't want y'all in my mention saying you hate black men. A lot of black men don't want to do the work. A lot of black men are resting on their laurels of just being black men and thinking that is enough. It is not enough.
Wow, I'm sure this is a conversation that's going to keep going. This is another iteration of the conversations that we used to have in the beginning of this podcast. But like, it's wow. I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised that this conversation is still going on. But like, it don't ever stop. It don't ever change. That's the problem. Yikes.
Before we go, though, did you see Tory Lanez's
mugshot?
New mugshot?
Yeah, it's nice. It's beautiful.
That hairpiece is on its last legs, man.
Speaking of which.
Wait. I guess you can say it was his price to pay.
Because I was going to say, what do alcoholics wear when they go to bed?
What?
A nightcap. I guess he should become an alcoholic in jail because
shout out to Jasmine for that one. Before we go, I had to tell you a quick story. Cash,
her dog,
this random ass dog of mine, stole a kitchen utensil yesterday. Had to chase him around. It was a risk he was willing to take.
Jesus. Oh, I'm so glad we didn't go through a bunch of these this episode, because I don't know if I could take it this week. But how does the moon cut his hair? I didn't even know we was going to talk about hair this week. But how does the moon cut his hair?
I'm not going to hold you. The song, When the Moon Hits Your Eye Like a Bigger Pizza Pie, that's amore.
Oh, Jesus.
How does the moon cut his hair?
He clips it.
That was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one.
VirgoSeasonShow@gmail.com is the email address. Like I asked y'all last week for emails, you know, that's where that last joke came from. So, you know, if you want a chance to get on the show, that's where you do it. VirgoSeasonShow@gmail.com.
Or you could drop them in the DMs at Virgo Season Show on all the socials. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Facebook be going up. I don't know how y'all found us on Facebook, but shout out to y'all, because y'all be over there.
You got to manage that, because I barely be on there.
Y'all be over there going up. So, yeah, you could drop us DMs there too.
Okay.
Anything else?
Why doesn't an almond ever listen to the cashew?
Because he thinks he's a nut.
He never has a point.
Goodbye, Ryan. Get off my phone.
Bye. final season.